Oh, speaking of penises, speaking of huge black penises fucking me in the mouth near constantly, and me drooling pre-cum and saliva all over myself, all in my beard and dripping down onto my body, onto my hairy chest and tummy, and me going, Speaking of that, welcome to the ewansucks podcast. Yeah. So you thought I meant like Ewan sucks in like a self-deprecating kind of way, like Ewan sucks as a person, a very subpar human being and a very poor quality artist to myself because I am self-hating and sad. But no, I meant Ewan sucks. Penises. Oh, that's more information than you need. Only on the ewansucks podcast network. You watch, that'll be one day. Now I'm doing the make a living as a freelance human. The only way is up. Podcasting, cool. Now what? Podcasting network. Let's get other people involved. Let's get a studio space and equipment. Let's do all kinds of crazy, outrageous, outlandish things. I don't know if I've got any plans that grand, but I do have plans. I might go over some of them during the course of this here, the ewansucks podcast. I might not though. Oh, we'll see. See how it goes. This guy you might recognise as the one and only Gun Viking. Maybe a little more on that later. Maybe that's something to do with plans I've got stored away to bring out on you later on, to pounce at you with, to surprise you with. Oh look, it's Gun Viking. What an original creation. What a marvellous, wonderful creation of originality and creativity, character and artistry and all kinds of shit. I'm just playing with a brush pen for now, just loosening up, because that's what drawing's all about, isn't it? Just sort of having a laugh and loosening up. I think this has run out of ink. But yeah, you know, sometimes it's good to have a set thing. I want to draw this image and get it right and proper. But sometimes it's good to just loosen up, to fucking make some marks and go, you know, I'll draw Gun Viking doing this. Oh, that came out kind of shit, but never mind, I'll draw another one and another one and another. Just keep your hand moving, keep creating, keep making lines and things. I'm planning a video about that specific subject right there. Pew, pew, pew. Finger guns, sir. Finger guns. What I did want to go over today, though, is this. Some of you may recognise it. I've shown it before, but I found it again and looked through it and quite liked it, so I thought I'd show it off again. Plus, you know, in the ever-growing need for content, I remember I used to make fun of content. Oh, content this and content that, and everything's just content. But now, of course, I find myself going, shit, I need content. I have to constantly produce. I've got to stay out there. I've got to be up all the time, like a graffiti writer. Keep your name out there. Keep up. Stay up. Go all city. Make sure everyone sees you always. Which, again, is part of what, you know, the game is. Drawing and such. Staying relevant to some degree, but ultimately relevant or otherwise, just staying visible, staying in the eye of your audience, making sure you're seen consistently. So in a bid to, you know, make more content, and people on the YouTube have said they're very much in favour of seeing sketchbooks and things. So I felt it only right to show off another sketchbook, even though I've shown one off before. But I figured I might go a little bit more in depth, do a little flippy through, and then explain some of it. So again, as I've done in a previous couple of podcasts, I'm going to do a section that I can clip out for a separate video. So this will be just a little flippity flip through where I go a pew and then flip through this wee sketchbook. I might put some music to it, another slowed down track so as not to light the beacons of the copyright monsters taking everything down. Whores they are. So these are some drawings. This was for an Inktober, would you believe? But Ewan, I hear you say, there doesn't appear to be a single ounce of ink used in this sketchbook. Aha! You'd be quite correct in saying so. The whole point was me being, the non-conformist I am, being anti-everything, always opposed, always be different. I said, do you know what? It's Inktober, so I'll do a whole month of using no ink whatsoever. And so I did this, and this was the result of that Inktober, or lack of Inktober, should I say. 2017, Inktober 2017 is when that was. So that's cool. I can use that as a little video. But also it comes from, literally I use ink all year round. Like I don't use pencils because I'm above the use of pencils. Pencils are for peasants. That's why they start with a pe. Much like penis. Penises, pencils are for peasants with... but then pen also starts with pe. You can't have pencils without pen because, I bought this black paint some time ago, I guess in 2017, which is it's supposed to be not Vanta black because that's like a chemical thing that you need scientist hands to work with, but it was close, like blackest black paint you can get. Like it doesn't reflect light, it sort of absorbs it, so it's just the mattest, blackest paint you can get. Also, it smells like blackberries, which is quite nice. But I bought that, and it came with this little sketchbook, so I figured I'd use this little sketchbook at some point. And yeah, it seemed only appropriate to use it for something like Inktober or whatever. It's a bunch of shit I don't really give a fuck about. So it was Inktober. I don't know if all of these were Inktober prompts. They were probably actually Ewantober prompts. So again, it was more Ewantober because there was no ink involved. So this one, obviously, as you can probably tell, but what I might do actually is I'll do a quick little intro that I can use for a separate video of me talking about this. So this was, I'm just going to repeat it, but so this was for Inktober 2017, but as you might notice, no ink whatsoever. That's because I have to be different all the time. Got to be against the grain. Non-conformity Ewan. Brilliant. So I had this little book. I think I had my Ewantober prompts at the time that I was running with. A whole month of using no ink whatsoever because I use ink all the time. So what's the point? Inktober, great. But for me, it's ink year. Because that's all I do is use ink. So fucking wow. Oh, let's use ink for an entire month. That's all I do! So I used pencil instead. Look, it's a bum. Everyone likes a bit of bum. Especially the gays. And I guess everyone else. and rightly so. Bums are gorgeous. Boy bums, girl bums. Love it. Love a nice bit of bum. I do like to stroke my drawings and stuff, but these are pencil. They'll smudge. I can't be doing that. This one was for, I don't know if it was Goblin or Goblins or something. I don't know exactly what it was. I really like this drawing. I might do an updated version of this drawing. So it's like a goblin that's split in half down the middle. It's on fire, and like so each one is supposed to be an individual. Maybe, I don't know. I quite like, and you've got like the mouths and throats going down into their bodies. They're on fire. The pose is quite cool. The whole thing. I really like that drawing actually. And if you don't, then I don't give a shit because it's my sketchbook. You go for it. I think this was Poison. Might have been the prompt for this Inktober prompt. I am dead because I am surrounded by poison frogs. For some reason, I drew it and wrote it like a child drawing. Child drawing might have actually been one of the prompts as well. Now I think about it, like a kid's drawing and poison. Poisonous frogs and the guy's dead. Oh, that was eating a fly. Oh, cute. That wasn't a prompt. That was just, I put this in here to fill a page because, you know, it's pencil, it's a skull. That was also Goblin, Undersea Goblin. Again, not sure what the prompt was. Water Goblin, maybe, I don't know. It's a goblin swimming, trying to catch a fish. That's quite neat. That was one of those ones where I did this one and I was like, wow, I'm really happy with that. That's cool. Goblins, yeah, let's do more. And then I did this one and was like, really not quite so happy with that one as I was the previous. But, you know, not all of your work will be your best work, obviously, which is what makes your best work your best work. Words of wisdom from your old pal, Cunt Face. I mean you, old Uncle Cut Ewan. Uncle Ewan, the Cunt Face. What a cunt face, cock-sucking face of a cunt he is. Well, go on, Ewan, say cunt some more, that's funny. Jessa Jordan, I believe, is the name of that model. That was just a picture from her Instagram. I drew it, I liked it, I sent it to her. She went, well, that's really good. I think she posted it on her page, I don't know. Again, we all like some butts and whatnot. I do like drawing girls with afros as well. That's something. Oh, this is a funny one. Cool, look at his penis. It's so low. Where's it going? It goes off the camera there. Again, I was quite happy with his pose. A nice little flesh bob. You know, my character, my original character, stolen from some actual original character. So his penis goes off the screen. And then here it is, winding along. Where's it going? Why, it's going to this one's penis. He looks a bit, oh, what's going on here? It makes for quite a nice little funny illustration, doesn't it? I assume the prompt there was penis, because, you know, why wouldn't it be? Another one of them. That was from a photo I got sent from one of those, you know, those really, really obviously very generous person that would send me a photo like that and say, here's a photo for you to draw. But then, sort of every few days, they go, oh, did you draw that photo yet? Hey, have you had a second to draw? Oh, really excited to see you draw that. Oh, you haven't had a minute to draw that photo, have you? Yeah. Again and again. But, you know, whatever. Again, that wasn't a prompt, just stuck it in there because the boobs of a friend of mine. She had blood all over her chest, so I drew that in there too. This was Captain America. Again, can't remember the prompt. It may have been Captain America, but I know I recorded this drawing. I've lost the video now. I think my laptop died and I lost a whole bunch of shit. So I lost this video, but so I drew Captain America, and then just as I was getting to the face, I think I drew a proper face, but then really quickly rubbed it all out and then drew a silly Wally face in there, just for the lols, as they say. We do like this pose, don't we, eh? This old, oh god, new material one day, I swear. Again, can't remember the prompt, but it was a nice drawing. I like that, like some sad guy sat in a city that is unreasonably huge. some reason. It's quite a cool little illustrative piece. Again, some of these illustrations would be quite cool if I took them, did them in a more current style, update them a little bit maybe. Throw them in my portfolio, say they're for something, say there's a meaning to it, when really there's not. Ha! We all know this meme. This was a good meme. That might have been the prompt. It might have been meme or something. Or I might have just done that for fun. Why bloody not? It's cool though. I like doing that, taking a dumb doodle and like rendering it with shading and lighting and such. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. As for this, yeah, it's alright. I believe the prompt was book for this one. Here's a fella eating a book, taking a bite out of a book. That's got the chimp face from my my illustration book, my ballpoint book, from the same year, I believe, actually, 2017. Yeah, ooh, nice. Yeah, again, quite a good drawing. I like the legs over the arms. It's quite neat. I like the shapes of the feet and such. Not a bad piece. This is a fun one. I do quite like this one. I think the prompt I put for this one was dragon and duck. So it's dragon with a duck coming out its mouth like an alien tongue, kind of. I quite like the dragon. Quite like the duck. I like the contrast, the black and the white with the claws sort of contrasted there. It's a little bit of smudge shading. I'm not really too keen on in general, but it's quite neat to do sometimes. Yeah, dragon and duck. Again, quite a nice little drawing. Two penises hugging. One cut, one uncut. One natural, one mutilated. Yeah, you know. I'm down with the... No, I'm not down with the gay. I'm in favour of penis and penis love and any other kind of whatever, you know. Even if I don't necessarily get any myself, I'm you know, in favour of those that do. You know, would that I could. It's all good. Do like a nice bit of penis. Another one, not a prompt, just another page filler. Little skull fella. And why not, eh? Ooh, Nurg. Do like Nurg, don't we? Grandfather Nurgle. That'll be me one day. Nurgle from Games Workshop, from the Warhammer universe, the Chaos Gods. Nurgle being one of the four, this being the Great Unclean One, the very image of Nurgle himself, big and bloated, open wounds and weeping sores, pustules and flies. I always loved Nurgle. That was like my thing in Warhammer. Nurgle was fucking... It's cool, man. Demons and bloated and decay and shit, zombies, that kind of thing. It's good shit, man. Some very good visual possibilities with that one. So I drew them, and again, I was quite happy with this book as a whole. I really like the drawings in this book. Well, most of them. This was probably either dinosaur or something. So I drew a Triceratops skull, and then just improvised the rest. You can sort of tell reference was used here, less so here, with a backwards roar, because, you know, whatever. Again, it's not a bad drawing. I quite like some of the shapes and stuff. Little penis bump. Yeah, it's alright, I suppose. Another bum with a little bit of puss showing through. Good lighting on that one. I was quite happy with that. It almost pushes me to want to do more nude studies in pencil, because you can sort of, again, with the smudging, you can get softer tones and things, whereas with, you know, ballpoint you can sort of blend and get more tones in there, but it's a bit more tricky. But could be something to look into. Could be not, because, you know, who wants to put that much work into anything? Homer the Simpson with a donut head, eating a donut head. I can't remember what the prompt was. Again, there might not have been one specifically. I just wanted to draw that. I had the image in my head to a degree. Obviously, the image exists previous to this, but I just wanted to fucking, you know, fucking do some shit. So I did. Hulk, that was probably the prompt, Hulk, because, you know, I like the Hulk. He's my favourite. That's about all there is to say on that. It's just drawing of the Hulk. From my head, all of these pretty much. Again, you can sort of tell, like, that was obviously reference. But mostly these are just out of the top of my head, because I know how Homer looks with a donut for a head, so that. I know what the Hulk looks like, so that. This was reference and from my head. Mona Lisa, skull hair. I mean, you get it, don't you? Oh, look, another copy of the Mona Lisa. How many of those does the world bloody need? Stay relevant, keep creating, keep in the eye of the public. And that was Inktober 2017. Inktober 2017 sketchbook. The sketchiest of sketchbooks. And that'll be a nice little video, won't it? Cut that out, stick it together with a whole mess of, I don't know, whatever. Speaking of penises, do you remember Gun Viking? Do you remember my comic Gun Viking? I'll go through each and every page with you while you're here. Only joking. I did that just a little while ago. Okay, so as I was saying, I have plans. I'm recording this in late January. I don't know when you watch it, whatever. If you're watching it just after I record it, good on you. You're one of the smart ones. Obviously up on my Patreon, and you're fucking actually helping out and doing shit. So this past month, I've done a lot better than I expected to in terms of commissions and selling artwork and such. I may be able to afford to basically take next month off and not worry about making money for the month. I should be sorted for that, as long as I'm okay to carry on making money after that. But I should be able to fairly comfortably take the month off to work on the next issue of Gun Viking, which I've wanted to do for a good few years. When was this? 2016. Issue 2 came out in 2016. It's 4 years ago now. So it would be nice to get the next fucking issue done. And I reckon if I've got a month, each page takes anywhere from 6 to 12 hours to do, depending on what's going on within the page. Some pages I can do in a day easy. Sometimes I can do 2 pages in a day, depending again on what's going on. If I've got double page spreads, if I've got splash panels, I can get them done in one go quite quick. So if I've got a month to do 20 pages of comic, I should be able to get that done easy. And now I don't have the day job to worry about. I can just, you've probably seen on Instagram and whatever, I've been almost just pumping artwork out like a machine, if I do say so myself. So yeah, now I'm actually able to focus and get into it. I can really actually get shit done, which is great. It's fucking fantastic. I've not been able to do this properly in years, probably since around 2016, you might say. So I've got a few more commissions to do. I'll get those done. And then basically the rest of next month, I should just be able to draw and paint the next issue of Gun Viking, which will be fucking cool. And if, even then, during the month, if I can sell enough stuff that I don't have to spend time creating more stuff, then I may even be able to focus the next month on the next issue. If I get 4 issues done, 20 pages each, that's 80 pages. That's enough to comfortably put together in one sort of graphic novel collection book thing. 80 pages. Put the covers as like dividers in there, some extra artwork at the back, a couple of rough sketches, doodles and things, that sort of stuff. Make a nice book, 80 to 90 to 100 pages-ish. Make a new cover for it. Maybe get a quote from an established comic book artist to put on the front, possibly. That's what I'm hoping I'll be able to do. And sell it as that. And that'll be fucking fantastic. So, potentially, within the next few months, that could happen. I'm really, really hoping I can do that, because I miss drawing and painting Gun Viking. I really like the idea. I've got ideas for sort of where I want the story to go, but more so just pages I want to draw, which I may or may not have blabbed on about enough already, but that was the whole point of Gun Viking. Was just I had literally I knew I wanted to open it up with that, so I did that. I knew I wanted Gun Viking shooting a load of people, so I painted these and sort of fit them into the story. I knew I wanted Gun Viking doing this pose, so I painted that and fit it into the comic. I knew I wanted something like this, so I just drew it, painted it, and fit it into the story. So the story is sort of second to the artwork, which is maybe a fairly original way of doing a comic. I'm not sure. It's probably been done, but whatever. That was the point. That was always the point. It was just the artwork. I just want cool artwork in my comic, cool poses, a Viking shooting shit, a mountain that's a big monster that he's fighting. Just cool shit in a comic to look cool. Because fucking look at that. That's cool. That's all I wanted to do. Just make a comic full of some cool fucking artwork with this guy. Guns and muscles. He's dumb, but it looks cool, so who gives a shit? So I can actually continue. So that's where issue 2 ends, and I do have... I'll tell you what. What I do have sat right here, a little pile next to me, is all of the original artwork of Gun Viking. What you may be surprised to see is this is the print, which is average comic book size. This is official, like when you buy a Spider-Man comic or whatever. That's the size of it. This is a sheet of A4 copy paper, a little bit bigger than a comic book. The original artwork is mostly A5 in size. So that's... Where's that page in here? That's the printed version. That's the original artwork, a little bit smaller, which is not quite how most comic books work. They're usually printed 2.5 up, as they say, which is 2.5 sizes bigger, so roughly A3. The average comic book page is drawn or painted at A3 size. But I did my artwork very, very small, with very small brushes and such. Because of reasons. I brought this up the other day, actually, talking to somebody, that growing up I'd copy like the Beano, Dennis the Menace and stuff, make my own comics, but I'd draw them the same size as the actual comic, because that's the size comics were. I didn't have access to printing stuff, so I was drawing my own comics at comic book size, so I got very used to producing artwork of that size. Which sort of makes sense, really, doesn't it? And it was never really in my head at that time. I was fucking like 5 years old. It was never a thought that like comic books were drawn by somebody somewhere in a larger size, put into a computer, printed up smaller. Like I just assumed they were produced at the size they are. So that's what I did. And so that's just how... That's sort of how I worked forever. So it wasn't too much of a conscious decision to do it this small. Partly it was like a time thing, because, a smaller page I can get done in half the time of a bigger, obviously. So it sort of stands to reason. So again, if I'm doing artwork of this size, I can get it done quicker, within a month, easy. That said, I think I will do the artwork a bit bigger, because I think I'm a much more, I think I'm a much better artist than I was even 4 years ago. So the artwork, it would stand to reason, would be better. So I'll do it maybe a bit bigger, more detail into it, spend some more time on it, get it really, really good, really how I want it to look, and get a really nice fucking book out of it. Possibly within the next few months, which is quite exciting. Again, positive. We're being positive. We're making moves to actually do shit. But again, tiny little original artworks. I mean, I'll just flip through them for now, just quick, just so you can have a little look-see. They're horribly out of order, but you know, it gives you an idea at least. I am also going to go through a lot of this and sort of adjust some of it. You know, paint over a few bits here and there. It's actually quite weird seeing the. I've not looked at the original art in quite some time. It's quite cool. So it's all like spray painted, and you know, it's all just on one bit of paper. It's not edited on a computer. I tidied up the edges and stuff a bit, but ultimately, and that was the point. So I've got like all the text and everything on the page because I wanted everything on the page that I'm painting. So once I've finished the page, that's the page all done. Which for the most part worked. But yeah, some of it needs adjusting, certain contrasts here and there. A few little bits of paint I might add. Do some updated covers for it, and then yeah, have a nice new comic. And that's even smaller. Like you can see, that's the size of my hand, and that's a comic book page. Like quite a funny one as well. Yeah, working very small. So like when I adjust the contrast and stuff of this on the computer, I need to select this separately and then adjust that, which I didn't do before. So I can work on that and make it look all nice and nice. This is one of my favourite pages as well. And graffiti on the mountains in the background. Why and how? It doesn't make sense. And look at the fucking, like, the detail on the skulls and shit. Just tiny little things. Pretty bananas, man. Madness. It's a bit of a trip looking at this, actually. Again, because I've not looked at the actual artwork in so long. And seeing it small is pretty weird. Yeah. Trip down memory lane. It's one of my favourite little double-page spreads in the comic. So it's here. I know I've gone over it before, but whatever. So he's shooting these fucking zombies. His bullets will rattle off of them because they're zombies. So he's left there like, oh, god damn, what the fuck? And then he looks at all the axes and shit on the ground, gets an idea, and goes, aha, if I do this, if I pick up all these axes and shit, stick them in this big cannon, and then shoot that at the zombies, the weapons will chop them to pieces. And it works, and that's how he kills the zombies. That's quite cool. So again, the story's not like great, but it's sort of there enough, isn't it? I quite like this one as well. I need to adjust the levels on this when I put it in the computer again, because I lost a lot of the detail on that one. It was a bit too dark when printed. But it's one thing you learn, isn't it? Do shit. If it doesn't work, you figure out why. You learn, you move on, do it better next time. I really like some of these poses and things. Man, Gun Viking's cool. I just need to do more of it. That's all like this is stuck on, that's stuck on. The lettering in this drawing of Gun Viking here. Again, have it all on one page, It's just drawn straight on there. Yeah, man. I quite like that one. Nice little black and white Gun Viking. That was the back cover of the first issue. Yes. Good shit, man. Good shit indeed. Oh, I should have been doing this. So these are the next 2 pages. So he sees Freya, where she's here. So he sees Freya and he's like, what the fuck? How is this curvy bitch this skinny? What the fuck? And then she's like, what? And he's like, yeah, what the fuck? Puts his helmet on there, ready to go. And then there's a talking scene, which I think is quite funny because the drawings just get less and less effort put into them as they go. Because it's just like, yeah, if I can get the talking out. That's a page of get the talking out of the way so I can move on to the action. Which I'm going to try and put quite a bit of that into the next issue or 2, where it's whole pages of just talking, just get out of the way, just so the story's there. And then action, because that's what we want to see. The muscles and the guns. That's what everyone likes, isn't it? More tiny. Oh, tiny, look at the size of him. He's tiny. Tiny little falling gun Viking. Oh. Again, there's a few spots I'd like to repaint. I don't know if I will or not. Like this arm needs a little bit of work. But ultimately, it's like this much out of this much that needs fixing. And that's only to me. Outside, it might look fine. But to me, personally, it's just like, I'd change this, I'd change that. So I might take a couple of days just to do that. Sort of, you know, in and around when I'm working on the new pages. That's one of the pages I'm least happy with. It was quite a cool idea to have, like, the Mountain King's head with Gun Viking around it just shooting all over the place, but I don't know if it translates very well. Meh. That's not fantastic either, but you know, quite like this, which is annoying because you get like this. I really like this panel. I know the pose is okay, the arm, the direction, and everything. But then, like, I don't like this. But that's just how it goes, isn't it? That was a good one of my favourites there. Bulge. Yeah, I'd mask, like, get a bit of tracing paper, trace this line here, cut it out, and use that tracing paper as a stencil. Well, actually, I'd cut, obviously, around it out. And then spray paint there, just to give it the glow behind it. And then paint over any bits I need to. I use that technique quite a lot, as you can see. I don't know what this was. Huh. It might have just been like a silly little like goblin man and a skull. I think that's like I wanted to put in loads of like weird little people, just funny looking little characters just to fill up spaces where there was space. But I guess I decided against that. Here. Don't know if I can see. No. Meh. Whatevs. Again, I need to make that a bit clearer because when it prints quite dark. And it's just supposed to be him in shadow from that, but I don't know how clear that is. How well it translates before he gets squished. Again, this came out really dark, so I really need to work on this. This needs to be way brighter, so I'm going to make that a really vibrant sort of orange-red. I'll maybe select these, maybe paint over. I don't know why you use felt tip for the blue in the back. I might paint over that. Just to make it all a bit clearer so it prints better. As Gun Vikings being dragged away. Oh, there you go, a bigger sheet. I think that's just because I wanted to do the Northern Lights. And yeah, I wanted to make sure I could get in any detail I needed to. The original cover. That's quite cool. Again, I'll be doing I might do just this exact painting, but an updated version, since, again, I'll be better at painting and whatnot now. So I'll just do this, but better, which would be cool. It might be cool. It might not. It might look shit. This, I think, was a page I had wanted to do, but I guess I wasn't happy with it. I think I drew it, and I liked the drawing, and then when I came to paint it, I didn't like the painting. So I didn't use it in the comic. So there you go, a deleted scene. That's one of the things that can go in the back of the book when I get it done. Not if, but when. Oh! I believe that's a sticker. Yeah. That's kind of cool. Get a blank background on that. Gun Viking sticker. Hand painted. Well, that's pretty neat. It's not perfect, but it's pretty cool. It's alright, yeah, some good shit. I'll put that to the side because I might do something with that. Oh, cool. Here's the shit. Obviously this would have been a first draft of this. I don't know. In some ways I prefer this version to this version. The tree's cool. I like the tree in the background. I like that this is just a floating head. I don't know if it's actually been chopped off or not. I like this guy's position. This guy's position's quite cool, I guess. But yeah, some bits I like, some bits I don't. I quite like having these guys in the front though. I switched the knife from that hand to that hand, just so it was clearer. Moved that guy a bit. Yeah, weird that. Yeah. Cool. Shit I'm finding and learning about myself and my artwork. This was, I was going to have Gun Viking, have like a Gun Viking sister or something. I wasn't really too sure. Like a Shield Maiden version of Gun Viking, just a girl version that I could draw for fun. Get the ladies involved, you know. So that's something. I guess I never did anything with it really, but you know. It's a neat idea. Oh, did you know Gun Viking's a really good skateboarder? That was quite a fun one. Again, put that to the side. I might do something with that. That was one of my first Gun Viking paintings before I really had an idea for him to be Gun Viking that you all know and love. And these are the little men characters I was going to put in throughout the comic book. I really like that painting actually. I like the noodle kind of beard he's got, how chunky his arm and stuff is. Yeah, I do like that one. And that was just a piece of Gun Viking art. That like parts of it I liked, parts of it I didn't. I was trying to be sort of Frank Frazetta-ish about it. Gun Viking just fighting a big monster, shooting his eye out. Some girl tied up. Her anatomy stinks. Where the fuck is that leg going? Oh. Yeah, again, parts of it I like, parts of it I don't. But it was just something I did. You know, that's it. You do shit. Doesn't matter if it's good, if it sucks. Just fucking do shit. That's the original art from Gun Viking. So yeah, more Gun Viking on the way soon. Maybe. Guess we'll see. I did have, I know I've shown it before, I drew a more recent Gun Viking page in black and white ink. It should just be to the side here, but I'm not sure if I moved it or not. Ah, there it is. But what I can say about it is, I believe, this may not be the case entirely, but I believe it may show I've got a little bit better understanding of layout of a comic book panel and page, bit of a better understanding of anatomy, bit more of a grasp on the character, how he is, how he moves, and like comic as a whole. So I might paint this one very soon actually, just to have it done, so I can go, look, new painted Gun Viking page, just wait, there'll be more soon, because that'll be cool. But yeah, I'm really happy. Again, certain things I'm less happy about, but ultimately really happy with this as a page that will appear in the next issue of Gun Viking. Even if it doesn't fit into the story naturally, I'll make it fit in there. Yeah, I think that'll be a really cool one to paint. That should get me hyped for the next issue. And maybe he'll have a fucking skateboard in the next issue. Probably not, but you never know. Yeah, man. Looking at this now, because I drew this a little while ago. Looking at it now, I'm really happy with it. I think it would be a cool painting. Again, bigger, so I can get more detail and stuff into it. And as much as I've learned, it's not that like I'm better at painting now, but like I've learned more over the last few years about painting, about, you know, light and form, about myself as a person, as an artist. So I'll be able to apply that better to newer comic book pages, to, you know, make better comic book pages. So that'll be neat. Plus, I like that Gun Viking's look has updated a little. because obviously he's been through the wars, as it were, since the first one. Find a couple of examples. Oh, maybe I use this. Okay, so no, that's not perfect. That's a good example of how he looks. Oh, that's a fairly. So this was a very early stage Gun Viking. You know, beard, hair, hat, V, big arms, neat and tidy, whatever. And there's one thing I noted. I did. So here his helmet's coming off, and he's obviously got the purple mask or whatever it is over his whole head. But then later on, I changed that to be just like a mask over part of his face. I mean, you can see it better here. So the mask's over part of his face, but it lets his hair come out over the top. Because otherwise it is sort of like, where the fuck is his hair coming from? And that was like a spur of the moment thing. I just thought, I'll do it like this. And it looks cool here. I'm happy with how it looks here. And I really like this where like it's got the bandages and shit and the hair over his face. I like he looks, you know, rugged and badass. Like he has gone through some shit already. So I'm excited to take that even further. So you can see he's got the bandages and shit. He's lost the V. I was never even sure what the V was. If it was part of his costume, if it was just some shit floating there. But yeah, I'm excited to take that and develop it more. Do more with it. I think what I'll do is I'll get the next issue done. So I've got 2 pages already. So another 18 pages. I could get that done in a month. Easy peasy po-jeezy. Then maybe print up a few copies of that. Not loads, but a few. Just to whet people's appetite, sell some, whatever. Make a little bit of extra cash, I guess. But also it would just be neat to have issues 1, 2, 3, and then 4. But I won't do too many because I want to make sure people are sort of hyped for the fact that it's going to be, you know, an 80, 90 page book with all kinds of new art and stuff in there. So yeah, like I say, plans for things. Shit's going on, man. Oh, speaking of penises, welcome to the Penis Sucks Penis Cast, brought to you by Penis Boy Ewan. What a cock!